Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And today on Modern and Modest, we have a man of many talents, Mr. Ismail Gori. Assalamu alaikum, Ismail, and welcome to Modern and Modest.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.
So Ismail, like we've just mentioned, a man of many talents, from being the fitness guy to events, entertainment, and to being a brand ambassador. Can you tell our viewers more about this?
Well, basically the fitness started many years ago. I think so it was at the age of 8 when I was always up and about with fitness, and over the years I've always been selected for different sporting courses for my town. I come from a very small town called Stanger, and as times went by, I should always introduce sports to the youngsters and to the youth, and I should always keep them occupied. So at the age of 15, my manager basically gave me over the club, which was a soccer club. He told me to run it and manage it. Now, imagine at the age of 15, running a club. So it was it was something different for me. So I started learning about management from a very young age. So at the age of 17, I took over the entire club, and then from there, what happened is that I started developing, I started taking my boys. Unfortunately, Stanger is a very small town, so we were limited to a lot of things. So what I should do with them is, because we are friends, we never have much to do in Stanger, so I should always come to Durban, go to Maritzburg, or different venues to play soccer, versing other friends. So we developed this kind of unity between each other. So what happened is, over the years, I started always focus myself on fitness. It was my basically, that's how the name of the fitness guy came about, because I should always stress on that point about being fit. Majority of us think fitness is not important, but for any sport, if you're not fit, you cannot excel. So I always stressed about fitness, and that's how the name the fitness guy came about. And my friends should always call me, hey, the fitness guy. So as time went by, I developed myself, I kept myself fit, so I've been keeping myself for the last over 25 years fit, but I never go professional straight away. What I did is I kept it open, and I was married at that time, so my time was limited. So when I reached the age of 30, just after I came out of that 20 zone, I decided to open an academy for youngsters, mostly for youth, and that has been established for the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, I've been training youngsters on and off, always make myself available for them, and I've developed my own academies, I've developed my own programs. And while I was doing all these things, I started studying, progressing. I started going into different fields of sport, kickboxing, boxing, and I've had trainers who trained me. So I never stopped there. I kept on going further and further.
I'm just going to interrupt you there. You mentioned friends and colleagues calling you the fitness guy, and you've known as the fitness guy. So what is the inspiration behind this for you?
My inspiration behind fitness was, I heard a quote like, your body has a right over you. So what was meant by that is, you have to be physically fit for you to excel in anything you do, whether it be work, whether it be sports, whether it be your normal, anything for that matter. If you're not fit, you'll be lethargic, you'll be lazy. But if you're fit, you'll experience something different where you'll motivate your own self and excel in anything you do. So that's what my inspiration behind it, because ever since I've been in that fitness area, I know my work has become more principled, and I give my all to, because I'm fit and my body is always in motion, my mind is always active. So that's the importance about fitness.
You mentioned earlier that you've come up with certain programs for kids and for the youth. So you're quite passionate about developing the youth, especially from your community. So can you perhaps tell us more about these programs that you put together?
Well, like I said, Stanger is a very small community. We have no infrastructure for sports. There's no leagues. I think so. Only after the age of 17 you get leagues, but it's not open to everybody. We got no. So what I've done is I've developed programs where within my academy, whoever joins into my academy, my sporting academy, I affiliate them to another program which I coordinate with different towns in and outside Stanger. So what we did in 2016, a couple of my friends who own different arenas, we got together and we create a program where every year, at least once or twice a year, we bring kids to different towns. So we named the program URL. URL meaning unity, respect and love. These are the three key elements in Quran, which is very important, because if we love each other, obviously automatically we start respecting each other, and once we have respect and love, we'll start uniting, and that is a basic, most important thing of Islam. So we broke the barrier of only certain schools or plain schools. We broke the barrier where we make it a club event. So alhamdulillah, like 2 weeks ago we had one at Hartley Road School, and shukar, you know, like we never put prizes in front. We teach our kids that the silverware is not the most important thing. So we took out prizes from it. We made them realize that journey in life is not just about bringing silverware back home. It's the memories you leave behind and the friendship you make. So there's a lot of aspects where you tend to cut off when it becomes more on friendly based social tournaments. So alhamdulillah, shukr, it's been going very well for us, and inshallah this program, I know it will grow. I have faith in it, but it will take time, but slowly, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, sabr, just keep on making sabr, and inshallah with sabr, like, we sometimes we tend to want to push to do things, but Allah is different. Allah works with us with sabr. He wants to see how much of patience we have, and then slowly things will happen.
Okay, so Ismail, you are an ambassador for a few designer fashion labels. What has pushed you in this direction, and is it just Islamic way?
What has pushed me is I've always liked the scene, not to say I don't like it, but over the years I've always driven myself, because I'm from the fashion industry. My dad has a retailing fashion company, and I took it over. So what happens is fashion runs into my blood. My mom is also a fashion designer, but she's gone old now. So she has been my inspiration behind it, because at home, when I'm walking past the sewing room, you're always noticing what she's doing, how she's putting things together. So she has been I think so I've got that talent from her when in regards to fashion, because over the years she's always made sure we always speak and span with our dressing, coordinating our colors. So it became part and parcel of my lifestyle.
So Ismail, with mom and dad being your inspiration to getting involved in the fashion industry, I understand that you have studied fashion and you have an aspiration to come up with modest ways specifically for women, and you are currently working on a project. So can you tell us more about this project? What does it entail, and when can we expect this range from you?
Inshallah, it's here in the head. It's 2019. I dreamt about it in 2020 where I will kickstart it. So this year I'm just giving it some time. I will start designing, basically scripting my whole modest wear range. It's got to do a lot with evening wear more. I'm not too much into abayas, but more modest in a sense of elegance. I love elegant stuff. I love the look. I love the fabrics. I go crazy when I see fabrics. And there's so many fabrics out there in the market. So what I'm thinking about is something different, something on the evening range, but more in the modest look. Whereby today's times you do get evening wear, but there's a lot of, unfortunately we see there's a lot of where we have to put in inners, or we have to put in extra sleeves, or extra this and extra that. So what I'm going to do is I'm working on some designs. I've already completed about 5-6 designs, but inshallah in 2020 I'll come up with something different. It's more about the fabric and the styles, but we have to keep that under wrap for now. So inshallah 2020 we have to look for it, inshallah.
We'll be taking a quick ad break, and after the ad break we'll be chatting more to Ismail Gori about Keep Fit 24. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And if you've missed Mr. Ismail Gori earlier, we have an opportunity to chat to him more about the fitness guy, and about Keep Fit 24. So Ismail, you've recently launched this program, which is rather different, and I guess it assists kids with keeping away from the monotony of PE. We've known PE as kids when we were growing up. So can you tell us more about this program and what is Keep Fit 24?
Well, Keep Fit 24, firstly the name Keep Fit 24 is the most psychological thing. Why I developed the name Keep Fit, because example, like if you brand a thing, the most important thing about brand is marketing it. So the Keep Fit brand it keep on playing on a child's mind, whereby he'll keep on reminding himself to keep fit, keep fit, keep fit, keep fit. So that's why I developed the name. You get different names, but I work mostly with kids from the ages of 3 to 10 in regards to this program of mine. So I keep on emphasizing about keep fit 24, because obviously they're going to keep on remembering the name. So eventually, as they grow out of this, they go back into teen years, they will keep on reminding themselves how important fitness is. So how I developed this program is basically I use universal energy. What I did is I read a lot and I study a lot. So I noticed something about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness. The sun, take the sun for instance. We consume Allah's energy from the ground, and when we say we go to the masjid example, we taking away Allah's positive energy, all Allah's attributes. So what I've done is I put it into fitness, whereby I use a lot of positive energy and universal energy, and I use a lot of colors. Example, take the rainbow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never give you the rainbow for anything. He gave you a rainbow for a reason. All the rays, the different colors, it's like color therapy. It plays a very important role in kiddies. Especially if you notice, if you have children, they're always attracted to colors, different colors. So by you seeing them being attracted to different colors, you become more understanding of them. Like example, take the color blue or yellow or green. So like example, I'll give you, take blue for instance. I always ask this question to kids, what's your favorite color before I start my exercises? And I use colors a lot because I make them choose the colors. So when they choose a color blue, it gives me a more understanding of the traits and the personalities. So I know exactly how to train him in different aspects. Now, like I emphasize on different presents, when I do this program in school, I tell them, Asiya, doesn't mean the certain town they are accustomed to certain sport, we have to push our child to do that sport. We have to harness on his talent. So we cannot harness on his talent at the age of 13, 14. We have to start off at a very young age. So my program is developed in such a way, like from 3 to 10, I work on them in such a way that by the time they're 10 years old, I'll tell the parent exactly what sport your child is accustomed to. Sometimes the child might not progress in soccer, he might not progress in basketball or tennis, he might be a good kickboxer, he might be good in cricket. So with me working with them from such a young age, I start understanding them what they like, what they don't like. Like a common person won't like an aggressive sport. Like he won't like kickboxing. So a more aggressive person will like kickboxing, but with it, there's a lot of discipline in it, because I've done kickboxing for the last 8 years. I've trained myself to the limit, and my sensei has taught us 3 things: respect, discipline. Discipline is the most important thing in any sport. If you don't have discipline, you can't excel in your sport. So what I do with the kids is I use a lot of colors, and I demarcate my programs to, I don't make them play one sport. I make them play like each term I demarcate, because you can't give too much sport to anybody. Example, you said PE. Like normally in schools, we always put, every week we'll have the exact same thing, or if you want to keep on changing. So you are playing with his mind. They don't know how to focus. So here I focus, make them focus his mind. So I go to schools, I tell them, okay, this term we'll be doing these 2 particular sport. And I look for 2 sporting codes which are close together. I do the techniques and the drills which are similar, and I basically train them and coach them according to the drills and the techniques. My techniques are not copyright. I do it on the spot. I I watch and I see, and most of us these days, like the other day I was sitting and talking to somebody who was telling me copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. I don't believe in copy paste. What I do is I believe in creating your own style, creating your own design.
So with your physical activity being different from the usual PE, how well has this been received by both kiddies and schools?
From the feedback I've got so far, I'm doing 2 schools. I go to home schools, I go to preschools, I go to Montessori's, and inshallah in time I'll be going to schools. My feedback has been lovely. The feedbacks I've been getting from the teachers themselves, they told me the kids look forward to me, and that's like, you know, it inspires me to do more for them. And like my program is 45 minutes, but I make sure I extend it a little bit more because I adore kids. And I love working with them, and the more receiving I am, the more I give off. It's all about energy. So shukar, alhamdulillah, so far my feedback has been good. There's a lot of calls I've been getting through to come here, but time is very consuming. Inshallah it becomes, time is consuming. But inshallah as time goes by, I'll start doing it more. I'll go into more schools, and I know I'll progress in this program. I have faith in it also, because it's something that I dreamt about from the age of 15, and Allah has made it possible at the age of 40. It's like, you know, like a dream come true. So for me, it's all about getting kids off the computers.
So you've just mentioned now that you find sporting important with kids, and you start them off from the age of 3, which is rather young. So why would you say sport is so important in a child's life? And why do you start them off from the age of 3?
Well, from the age of 3, their minds are still developing. I don't push them to an extent where they cannot enjoy it. See, every child, you see a negative impact on sports from a very young age will put them off sport totally. So from age of 3, I groom them up, I coach them and I train them to start loving the sport. I make it fun, I make it playable, I make it enjoyable for them, because I don't like push them to do it. I like have fun with them. I'll jump with them, I'll clap with them, I'll do funny things with them.
So do you work independently, or do you have other instructors that work with you? Do you manage the group on your own?
I do everything solo.
All right.
Alhamdulillah, shukar, Allah Pak has given it to me. So, and plus my work is different, so it's very hard to retrain somebody to do something I'm doing. So I prefer doing it solo because my mindset differs. But here and there, like my sports, I also got a sports academy where I focus on kids on certain sport, because they have come to that age of 7 and 9. So I start developing different codes, and I got my son. He's 13 years old. Basically, he's been training with me for the last 3 years. From the age of 5, I got 2 sons, 2 daughters. So they come in, and like my sons, they assist me. My brother, he comes and assists me. I teach him what to do. I show him what to do. And in the recent years, I've seen that parents have been playing a very important role, which is very important with the kids, because over the years I've noticed parents haven't been playing a role. But shukar, alhamdulillah, in the last 1.5 years, I've noticed parents getting more involved. So I invite the parents. I don't tell them stay over there, don't drop your kids. I tell them, you know what, when you come here to drop your kids, stay with them. Don't go home, stay with them, because kids love it when the parents are there. And they enjoy it because when the parents are there, obviously they want to show off their talents. So with the parents being there, I tell the parents, you know, stay, go and play with them, go enjoy with them.
So you like getting parents involved in these group sessions. So what advice or what tips can you share with our viewers? Just as being parents, how do we get involved in our child's physical activities?
Well, we have become lazy, not to say no. Parents have become lazy because of our workload, we're coming home in the evening. But at least once a week, spend that time with your child playing a sport, even if it be in the backyard. Because, like I said, kids are not, they don't want to impress me. They don't want to impress them as coach. They want to impress them as parents. And when they impress them as parents, parents become more aware of the activities. And the parents, when they get involved, they start enjoying the time with the kids. Because I got parents coming to me and they say, hey Smile, you know what, I'm just enjoying my time with my child. Like this 2 weeks ago, one parent messaged me telling me, you know what, I'm feeling so bad. I had to be at work because my child was at the sports over there and I couldn't even see his first tournament. So I told him, no, don't worry. When you come to the place I train, come enjoy yourself with your child. And I even give parents tips of what to do at home. I tell them, you know what, your child is good in this, go and do this certain things with him at home, you'll see he'll start developing. and kids start to enjoy it after that. They start loving, and it creates a different kind of bond between you and your child. When it comes to work, okay, giving them this, giving them that, there's a limit to it. But when you get involved in what they're doing, you see the love will be different. They will start enjoying your company more, because it's an exchange. Yes, it's it's an exchange of love. It's an exchange of respecting. You'll become more friends than father, son, and that's what I've learned with my kids. My kids are not. I'm not their father for them.
So is that what's inspired Keep Fit 24? The fact that you have that relationship with your kids, perhaps, you know, that fun and.
Yeah, it has been part and parcel of it, because my kids are very active, and I make sure they are active. Only the other one is not too active. She's more on the books. But my other kids, alhamdulillah, with the sports activities that I've been doing, it keeps me with them, and I enjoy my life being with them. And I watch them grow, I watch them excel, I watch them play sport, even if they come home with nothing, as long as I spend my time with them. That's very important. Now, when it comes to Keep Fit 24, what I do is my techniques. What I do with it is, as they go into that age of 6 and 7, I transfer them into my sports academy, which I've been running for the last 10 years. And shukar, over the last 4 years, I've trained over 300 kids, and my academy has grown and grown and grown. Well, as I start training them, I start basically figuring it out, because every year, without fail, what I've developed is a progress sheet. A progress sheet where a child will get at the end of the year, and I will basically work on, there was eye-to-eye coordination, there was balance. So by me doing it every term, I give a percentage, like it's a reward card. So I'll tell you, you know what, your child is good in certain sport. Make him focus on this, because his balance is right, his discipline is right. Because every sport differs. Your disciplines, your balance, your coordination, there's a difference. So you can basically make out from kids what differences they have from other kids, and where we can basically harness on them.
So is Keep Fit 24 just for certain schools that you work with, or can parents reach out to you if they want you to perhaps do a one-on-one training with their kids?
Keep Fit 24 is open for anybody and everybody. Firstly, before I go to a school, I don't offer them the session. I offer them the program for free, for a free demo, which I've done for all the schools. I go and introduce them to Keep Fit 24, and I give them a demo before I start it off. And in my demo, I'll tell them exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I use a lot of different like example, I use animals as an example. So my program is open to anybody and everybody. Also did introduce it in Durban via a beach camp, which is a family beach camp. It was done every Sundays, but I closed it down because unfortunately I'm not known here. So, but I will be introducing it again. It's a Keep Fit 24 beach camp, which is not just for kiddies, but it's for everybody, with your father, son. So it was a family program which I've done. Sugar, it worked very well, and it was on the beach sand, so it was fun. And I should have parents coming in with their kids and enjoying a bit of fitness with the kids.
Okay, so that was Ismail Gori from Keep Fit 24, a fun and interactive activity for both parents and kids. We'll be taking a quick ad break and be joined by our next guest, Razia Bucks. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Modern and Modest. With me today we have Sister Razia Bucks. Assalamu alaikum Razia, and welcome to Modern and Modest.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran for having me. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here, and I must thank you for the opportunity to share whatever we've got to share.
Alhamdulillah. So Razia, just a bit about yourself. I know that you're very passionate about community work and you've been involved in community. Can you share with our viewers more about yourself, your journey from where you've started and what has led you to where you are today?
I come from a teaching background. I taught for 10 years, always gave up when I had my 2 children. That was priority. And along the way I got into property. specializing in hotel sales and so forth. That's good experience because it gave me exposure of a different kind. So now when it comes to networking and sourcing stuff out from the business community and so forth, it makes it that much easier. So at the moment, I'm focused on community work, and much of it is to do with friends.
Okay, that was my next question to you. You are the founding member of a platform called Friends.
Yes.
So what is Friends about, and what has been the inspiration behind Friends?
Okay, Friends is a sisterhood group. It's all about empowerment and upliftment. We found that there was a dire need in the community for upliftment, for empowerment. And we realized that we had the power, the ability, the skills, and the love to share, to uplift, to mentor, to listen, to do all the things that would help our fellow sisters.
So with empowering and uplifting, what would you say Friends has to offer for individuals that join your group?
Okay, having researched this a bit, sometimes we didn't have to go into a lot of research as well, because when you interact with people and when you are in the community, working in the community, you do come across instances where you feel, hey, there's a need, there's somebody coming, approaching you, it's a widow, or it's an abused person, or it's a person who you can see wants to progress, like somebody with a home industry who cannot make progress because she hasn't got the networking and infrastructure. So with that in mind, we came up with various categories, and we felt that across the board, and this concept here, although it is my concept, came up with it, but we've had so much of input from the people that we're working with, sisters that we are working with, that I can't take credit and say, look, this is my thing and this is what I am doing. But coming to your question about inspiration, yes, it's a bit of a long story if you allow me to go into it. We had a chat called Syria, the Syria campaign. We were doing some fundraising originally. And then we found that we did quite well. We did some fundraisers and so forth. But we found eventually that it was extremely difficult. And then came across these lovely people who said, you're really working too hard. We'll give you the money. Every month or second month or third month, you just send the money abroad.
True.
So there's no need for you to do this. So Alhamdulillah, we progressed, we were able to do away with that, but we continued to support other organizations with our skills, support, whatever we could do.
True.
So that was redundant now, inside Syria campaign. So the title changed to Friends in Need. Again, I was very much part of it. I've had other people with me. There are so many names. There's one in particular, Shaida doesn't want her name to be mentioned, that's why I'm only saying Shaida. And there were people on the chat already who survived all these steps. While we were there and while we had this group, Friends in Need, we found that because we were not doing fundraising, we were actually individually doing things with other organizations, but not collectively as this group.
True.
So we were slowly getting a bit like obsolete, you could say. And then one day I sat and I was on a cappuccino high, and it was late at night, I couldn't sleep.
True.
And I just thought, am I going to do away with this chat, with this group? It's so sad because you get friendly with everybody, you start to love each other, and then when you disband a group, then you kind of lose touch, and you lose that connection. Said, I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance, and there came some inspiration. But it wasn't a new inspiration, because I had thought about this some years ago, that I wanted to do something for friends, for ladies, and we do it something like a club. But I was shot down for them because I've got some conservative friends that call it club. We're in trouble.
Yes.
Forget about the name. So I recall that, and as I told you, I couldn't sleep. It was gone past 11 at night, and people were on the chat already. I could see people were busy. So I went to Friends in Need, and for whatever it was worth, I put my thoughts out there. And amazingly enough, subhanallah, I got amazing, remarkable response. There was Hasina Katrara, there was Farzana Abdul, I think Farida Surti was there, and Shaida on the side also gave me awesome. I said, that is the catalyst that I needed, the support that I needed. But then again, I didn't realize it was going to be such a mammoth task. Like I told at our launch, told the people there, that when you're on a cappuccino high, you become like a lion. Now, I'm not saying I'm lioness, right? You become like a lion. And once that wears off, you're back to being a mouse. But these girls didn't allow me to go back. They said, come, let's do it. We can do it. And I must tell you, I brought in Sister Shanaz Jibai, very capable person also. She was on the group, and for some reason she left. I said, Shanaz, this is it. Come on now, making you admin. Add on people, get on with it, let's run with it. She was very, very enthusiastic because she also had this idea. She wanted to do something similar to this. And mind you, when I spoke to others after that, I happened to make a call to a person whom I didn't know she was in Turkey, Sister Amina Jamal, and I spoke about this, and she said, but Sister Razia, this is what I wanted to do, but with the widows, because she's widowed.
True.
And she said, but this answers my question. This is like solves everything. This is now a platform already. So please wait for me. Don't do the launch without me. But we couldn't wait, unfortunately. So this is the support we had.
So just to interrupt, you mentioned the launch. When was the launch of Friends?
We officially launched on the 20th of October at a restaurant.
Was this last year?
Yes,
Okay,
late last year. So it was at Graffiti because, we choose a venue that is like private and, of course, inexpensive. So,
and how many members do you have on your platform starting out in October to now?
We've got just over 200 on our main body. And that is where we do everything, the chatting and posting of notices, invitations and so forth on the main chat. Any member that comes on board has to be on that main chat. But however, we've got, as I told you, various categories. So we give the members an option now. We said, look, and I can name if you give me the opportunity, I can name some of the categories.
No, that would be interesting to know what categories you offer.
Right, we've got education, we've got skills, arts and crafts, we've got education, we've got lifestyle. Under lifestyle comes so many aspects like deportment, etiquette, dress code, money management, you name it. We've got a whole host of aspects under lifestyle, and this is being headed by a very capable young woman, Amira Lulat. So she's quite capable, so I know she can do justice to this. So we've got other categories like youth development, and we've got some very capable. Sumaya Riaz Jamal is there as well, Aisha Pando is there, Nasrin Mia. They all do a great job. But remember that we are fledgling, infancy stages, so we're taking step by step. Now, why I'm talking about the youth, there is such a need to rein in our youth, to harness them in, to develop them, to save them, to save the parents as well.
So let us discuss a category that's in need and very important where we are at right now, which is youth development. So how do you go about developing the youth? Do you offer them perhaps a meeting once a month? Do you bring them on board? Do you send them motivational messages? How do we develop the youth?
Basically, there is a chat, and we're inviting the youth to come in. So we tell the parents as well, you've got a daughter or grandchildren or neighbors' children, you're a teacher, you've got children in your class, just submit their names because it has to grow. What we offer are like workshops, counseling, skills training even. So we haven't implemented a lot of these things already. This youth development is a little bit slow in taking off because it's very sensitive. We found the youth to be extremely sensitive. They don't even want to be called youth. So we're handling them with like kid gloves at the moment.
Very fragile.
But very, very fragile. But I know there is a need. This was another passion of mine. Some years ago, I went to many organizations saying, you're leaving the youth out. We're going to have a lost generation. I remember going to Brother Riaz Jamal. You know, he was a station manager of Radio Al Ansar. And he took it on. And there was a program. Unfortunately, there was somebody who came in there and she was taking it in another direction. This is what sometimes happens and that fell away. But this is the opportunity. But talking about categories, the other one that I want to mention is the widows and divorcees category. It's taken off like you don't know.
We'll take a quick ad break, and after the ad we can chat more to Razia Bucks with regards to the other categories that Friends offers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Modern and Modest. With me today we have Razia Bucks from a platform called Friends. So Razia, we chatted about the category which was youth development, and you mentioned a few categories. Which would you say are the second to youth? What other categories do you think are very important that you offer?
At the moment, the category that's to do with widows and divorcees. It's, as I mentioned, it's really taken off. And we've got about 60 people, although we, as I told you, we're very new.
Okay.
The word is still going around. And it's amazing the response, because you can see, I attended one of their meetings, although I didn't qualify to be there, they just kind of accommodated me. And I really wanted to be in their company. I wanted to see how they think and how they feel and how they're coping. So I had first-hand experience, with them. And I must tell you that these ladies need a lot of support, a lot of care, a lot of love. And if we as friends can do only that, we've achieved a lot. So now that group, they're having meetings very informal meetings, like breakfast meetings, every month. And they do also go out to sister sitting in Idda, for example. So they do some home visits as well. And they go out and have some fun, a little bit of fun as well together. So they're making tremendous headway.
So I guess just knowing that there is that support for you and that you're not alone in that situation.
Absolutely.
Okay, and any other categories that are close to your heart?
Yes, there's arts and crafts. And this was being run and is still being run by Sister Khadija Green Thompson. She's quite a go-getter. She's a very positive lady who really knows how to do things. And we kind of piggybacked on that. It was running on an ongoing basis at Keel Road in Sydenham.
Sure.
And where, the people would come and do crochet and knitting and embroidery and you name it.
So pretty much skills development.
Skills development.
Okay.
So when we came up with this idea, we had a ready-made platform for that. And Sister Khadija has been very, very good. So on a Wednesday morning from 9 to 12, we encourage our ladies to go. They may pay 10 rand just for some tea that's being served and maybe some needles or some fabric that's given to them as well. So that is running very well. And because it's at Keel Road, we have access to a venue also if like we want to do a floral art demonstration, which brings me to another category, Nature Friends.
Okay.
So now under Nature Friends, we've got planting of vegetables, fruit, also nature conservation, organic farming. See, all the things that we need to pay attention to. And we as an Indian community, we haven't been doing a good job with that. So that's also coming up slowly. And by the way, we also do natural health. like using like honey and turmeric and lemon and so forth. That also comes under Nature Friends.
Okay, so with such a short space of time, I mean, being just almost, what, 6 months?
So
or just
less
over
than 6 months, yeah.
How has this been received by the community or by your members?
I must say that we've had an overwhelming response to this.
It's so like 200 members is
in a short
space of time is a lot.
And it seemed like people were just waiting. And mind you, it wasn't only the recipients, it's also the people who are giving. The people who are very skilled and talented came forward. We had doctors. Oh, by the way, we've got category doctor health.
So you have something medical.
We got doctors, medical, yeah.
Sure.
So we've had people skilled in technology. We've got a lecturer who's an African Muslim. She's lecturing at DUT, and she's so skilled with technology. And people are so interested, so we've got to get that going. Now, the challenge again, if you talk about challenge, now to get premises, to get the equipment, all that, now I think it's like we've got to take it a step at a time.
So you must have a very strong team behind you to coordinate these categories and to have individual people heading up these categories. So how do you do this?
All right, first of all, we have a basic admin group.
Okay.
As I told you, we got Sister Shaida, we got Shanaz Jibai, we've got Sister Fatima Rasool, who's also very capable and a scribe, and she does the reports.
Okay.
And we got Asya Ahmed, who helps with everything. She's across the board. And there's me. So that's a core group. We're just in the throes of sorting out our executive committee at the moment. We've got another working committee that consists of 33 people. Of there, we've got 15 people who are coordinators.
Okay.
And these are very, very dedicated, very skilled people, very, very passionate about Friends.
So with Friends, being on a platform like Friends, would there be a membership fee to be a part of this group?
Yes, we found a need for that. Because of to defray expenses, like printing, photocopying, things like that. So we just charge 100 Rand per annum. That's all.
Okay.
So there's not everything is free. Basically, I say 90% of all of this is free. Even the workshops that we're organizing, we're just in the throes of organizing a workshop for depression. We're just coming up with the venue. So that's, by the way, 18th, 19th, 20th of March, free of charge by professional people. So we try as much as possible to keep everything free,
So how do people become members of your platform, Friends? How do they reach out to you?
Okay, basically, we also belong to many other chats. All of us are admin, for example.
Sure.
We just post on the various groups. That's one way. But what we found is that the people who see this, they post on to their friends and their relatives and their neighbors. And this has grown.
So you would say social media has been a way of reaching out and people getting in touch with you.
And we've been approached by radio stations to come up and tell us about what we're doing. I think I jumped the gun here by coming to you before going to the radio. But
so Razia, with putting together this platform of Friends, and alhamdulillah, you've managed to space them out in different categories.
Yes.
But where to from here? What do you plan? Where do you plan on taking this platform to? And is it something that would stay within Durban, or do you plan on reaching out of Durban?
We've already had calls from outside Durban to copy this this concept, and we don't have a problem with that at all, because this is very localized at the moment, for the simple reason that if we're having a breakfast meeting, we can't go beyond maybe 30 kilometers for people to attend. So it's so localized. We've had people from Escort, Zinto, North Coast, South Coast, lamenting that this thing here, they're not able to attend. Sometimes they do take the trouble. From Pietermaritzburg as well, we have people coming through. So we said, okay, just give us time to get our things in order, our home in order. We're doing a blueprint which you can copy. You're welcome to do that. Even from Johannesburg, we've had calls. So inshallah, bi-iznillah, this can go throughout South Africa and beyond, inshallah. And whilst I'm talking about that, the growth, we've even had some males interested in this concept.
My next question to you was, do you, which is great that you're chatting about it, is that do you have any aspiration of one day putting something together like this, maybe for our brothers that need
Very
it as
much
well?
so, very much so. But I do know it's not going to be easy. I mean, compared to our sisters, men are like very closed. They're not open, like we've got this widows group.
True.
If we had a group for widowers, men tend to hold back. They're shy about showing their feelings. They feel they'll be less of a man, or I don't know what.
True.
But I think maybe other aspects that we could look at in terms of health and wellness, and maybe education and so forth. There is somebody, a doctor, who's already indicated that he's interested to do something. So here we go. That's a start, I think. So,
So with your
inshallah.
platform with friends, do you does this group keep within the Islamic ethos?
Absolutely, very much so. But that doesn't mean that we wouldn't allow a non-Muslim to come
And
to be a
part of-
member.
True.
Yes, very much so. We start with dua. We would, even on our posts, we put Islamic, sometimes hadiths and so forth. And from time to time, we will also we've got muallimas that we wanted to do a separate chat, but aspect, category, religion, but it wasn't well received because they feel that this religious aspect can pervade throughout the categories.
True.
So whatever we're doing, we just throw in a little bit of Islamic, whether it's hadith, Quran or something.
So just a question that's been on my mind, and I'm sure you have thought about it, with Ramadan being just not so far off. Have you thought of what friends would be able to offer to your members for the month of Ramadan?
We haven't planned that far, unfortunately, but I do want to tell you that we've got a frail care category, orphans as well, the disabled, we're getting there, and the appeals are made on our chat, and whichever member want to participate in any of these activities, they're welcome to do so. But as friends per se, we haven't ventured out yet because we've got to get our home in order first.
So Razia, with Friends, being the founder of Friends, I'm sure you would have thought of putting together a mission statement perhaps. Do you have one that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, it's empowerment by friends for friends.
Nice.
And we've got a logo as well, which may sound like a cliche,
True.
but it's so relevant that we just have to go with it. Friends in need are friends indeed.
Alhamdulillah, most definitely.
Old-fashioned,
But
but
so true.
very pertinent.
Yes. Any message you'd like to share with our viewers?
An invitation. You're welcome. Come through. Be part of Friends. Enjoy. If you've got something to share, you've got some skill, by all means we can utilize that. But if you want to receive, you want to be a recipient, there is a need for you to learn something, or you want to join a widows group, or lifestyle, or health and fitness, or nature friends. Under life skills, as I told you, there's money matters as well.
Sure.
So legal aspects, by the way, also under life skills, estate planning and wills, all that. If you want to learn, if you want to uplift yourself, you want to empower yourself, join us. You're most welcome.
Inshallah. That was Razia Bucks from a platform called Friends, and yes, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So please join the platform Friends, and there's a lot of empowerment and uplifting from friends to friends. Same time next week with myself, Noshina Ghani.